KXLY4 Make It Count election coverage now as we begin our series of interviews with the candidates for elected office, both here in Washington and North Idaho. We are joined tonight by Washington Governor Christine Gregoire, running for re-election. This is going to be a tough rematch. What makes it different this time around?
You know, I've got a record of success. We're getting that message out, whether it's reforming our education system or health care for kids or economic development. And really being ranked as one of the best managed states in the country by the Pew Institute says we're managing everything well. So it's a record that we want to run on, and we want to get the message out to the voters.
So you have had your 4 years at the governor's mansion. Talk a little bit about your greatest successes and then your greatest failures.
Oh gosh, on successes, you know, we've really turned around the transportation department in the state. They were really not getting much of anything done, and they've since that time finished 167 projects. We've now experienced the lowest crime rate in 14 years. Our economic development, we've created 250,000 jobs, unique in the country. We're on a surplus right now. Most states are in a terrible, terrible deficit. And we're readying ourselves to get through these difficult times. So we've had a lot of big successes, like I say again, reforming education and health care, meeting the needs of the families that are working in the state of Washington, what they care about, what they want.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about money. We are facing a bit, well, $3.2 billion budget deficit.
We don't know. It could be. We don't know yet.
Well, Senator Rossi has blamed some of that on you and your administration. You have kind of pointed the finger at the Republican, Senator Rossi, even President Bush. Do you take any fault in that, in where we stand with our money, and are both parties kind of responsible for not seeing things coming?
You know, the fact of the matter is, you know, cities and counties are looking at deficits. 30 states are in a deficit as we speak. So to say somehow that's not the fault of the meltdown on Wall Street or the mortgage crisis or the credit crisis or the failed economic policies out of Washington, D.C. is preposterous. Now, what we've done during these 4 years is we've invested in education and economic development, and it's given us good returns, 250,000 jobs. We've been fairly resilient to the economic downturn. It's now hitting us. We're not bulletproof. It's starting to hit us. You know, families are struggling to put food on the table, gas in the tanks. So we're going to have to keep investing in education and a skilled workforce and keep investing in getting our economy growing and going. Our exports have doubled. They continue to increase. That's helping us get through this. But the fact of the matter is this nation is facing one of its worst economic crises in history, and we can't pretend it's not going to affect us. It is. But I've taken measured steps. I've already put in action savings of $1 billion. I've already got $500 million in savings. That's fiscally responsible management to ready us for the worst. My opponent, frankly, has made so many promises that he's built the deficit to $4.5 billion rather than reducing it. So there's quite a contrast between the two of us.
We want to ask you a series of short yes-no question answer things. I know yes and no are kind of tough, but as best as you can, keep them, you know, simple answers. Do you think Washington State is headed in the right direction?
I do, but you've got to understand it's being adversely impacted by the national economic crisis. But if that crisis wasn't happening, we would be in really great shape.
Will you commit right now to not raising taxes if taking over governorship again?
Yes, because we're in tough times. Are you going to tax families? They can't afford to be taxed. You're going to tax business? It can't afford it. This is not about raising taxes. This is about living within our means, just like our families do.
Should the state legislature have to approve tax increases with that 2/3 majority?
You know, I would prefer to have it go to a vote of the people. I think it's one thing for legislatures to do their work. I think the people ought to have a say in taxes.
Will Spokane's North-South Freeway be completed or fully funded at the end of your term in office?
We're sure trying. Phase 1 will be done in 2009. Phase 2 will be done in 2011. Phase 3, working with Senator Marr, is to buy the entire right-of-way. So we're going to look for the additional funds. Because of my action, we had the funds, the $500 million to get Phase 1 and Phase 2 done. It's at the top of my priority list along with 3 other mega projects.
Does state government have a responsibility to pay for or offer free health insurance, or rather health insurance to all of its citizens?
You know, we're part of the solution, but it can't rest on government alone. It's really a three-legged stool. It's government playing its role, it's the individual playing his or her role, and it's business playing their role. And we've got to find a new way to do business. We're offering health care now to 84,000 more children than when I took office. Affordable prescriptions to senior citizens. We're driving up safety, driving up quality, driving down costs. But we really need national leadership. Healthcare is a national crisis. It cries out for a national solution.
Should Washington's minimum wage continue to be raised?
That's what the voters said. He's fighting that. He said he wants to lower it by $1.50 an hour. He says it's not a family wage. Come meet the thousands of Washingtonians where it is their income for their family. I just think he's got it wrong. He's just not in touch with what's happening out there. And the voters have made it clear. They want the minimum wage in Washington State. They put it in place.
So yes or no question. Will the state be worse off with a Governor Dino Rossi?
Yes.
Governor Gregoire, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. My pleasure.